What's up? This is Bikini Bubbles _up.
And I am her co-host Maisha Lashana _ on Instagram. And you are tuned in to Roll Problems and Sip Solutions.
Where we always have a plan B to your solution. So, today, share with me something that made your week so much better.
Something that made my week better. Honestly, and I know this is probably like cliche. I feel like something that has made my week better is getting back into the gym, praying more, and just focusing on my mental. Honestly, and people may think like that's so cliche, but that actually has made my weeks better. Getting back into like a routine, because when you work, you can fall off your routine very quickly.
Yeah,
and you can just a solution to falling off your routine is getting back with it,
right?
Getting you a schedule together,
consistency.
Yeah,
1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You gotta take 1 day at a time.
Yeah, so your schedule is everything. I feel like, because that's where your time goes, and your time is everything. So everything aligns itself. So how about you?
I think something that made my week better was, actually me coloring my hair. It made me feel so good to color my hair.
You did color your hair.
Yeah,
I thought something was different. So you did like the blonde
and made it kind of like a amber cinnamon spice type of feel for it.
Cute.
I like it.
Cause your hair was like red,
Yeah, it was burgundy.
Yeah. Okay, you did color your hair.
For a minute, and it really just
it was something different.
I was just trying to have something new. Not really like a new me, but really just something different to see myself in.
Okay, it's getting summertime, so
perspective
you want something new for the summer. A color, a different type of color. I'm feeling it.
Made me feel good today, or this week. So as we get into the topics today, today's hear me out, parent trauma. These parents out here, they raised us, boy. They raised us, but how well did they really raise us? Because sometimes these parents out here, they do the best of their abilities, but are they always at the best of the abilities of the child?
My take on that is basically a parent never knows what they're doing.
Right.
So I feel like even as a parent, yeah, you may have a child who's not a child anymore, and who's probably, in a more older stage, and you still probably don't know what you're doing. So right. I will never blame my parents for certain things, but there are some things that are traumatic experiences that you face as a child when it comes to your parents. And I feel like in this day and age, we are just now talking about it, because now we have voices and we're sharing our opinions, and we have these platforms to do that. Because it was always what happens in this house stays in this house.
Right.
So I feel like getting older, and as we are, we want to talk about these things. We want to heal. We want to grow. We want to see the outcome. Yeah.
Why we are who we are,
and why relationships don't work out, and it stems from trauma, from where it all began. Honestly,
how people grew up and how people, adapted to different things in their lives. I feel like that's so different to how people grow up, and how some people grow up in the hood, some people grow up in the suburban, some people grow up, with all of their family in their house. Some people grow up with only one person in their house with them, supporting them. We got people who grow up with people not even supporting them, and they in their lives. it's so many people that can be hurt in so many different ways. There's no way to be one way.
Yeah. So getting into that, okay, I guess I want to first start off is, how do you feel like you have been affected by trauma with your parents?
I would say I have been affected in some way, of course. My parents were very strict on me, so I feel like that was to a point of I was scared to get in trouble, even though I got in trouble all the time to their standards. I was always in trouble for the smallest things. You know, I would not have my phone for 3 months at a time, 5 months at a time. You know, I would be to where I can't. They done took the TV out of my room and everything like that for months. You know, I can't look at TV. I gotta read books all day. That's it, okay? Okay, your girl went to the library weekly. Okay.
I know that can be traumatic because you don't know what are you being punished for, because you feel like the things you're doing are not as
extreme as they're making it out to be.
So now you feel
like every little thing I do,
you're walking on eggshells.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah,
I would say that. Yeah, to where now I would say in my relationship, in my past relationships, even the one I'm in, sometimes I will see myself backing up into a point of maybe this is something that I'm just thinking too much into, and there's no point in me saying anything, because especially with that. And having another instance with strict parents, and then being in a 2-parent household, even though, you know, some people want 2-parent households, that's also 2 people going against you. Okay? 2 people double teaming you, talking at the same time. And now I really know that for a fact, with that trauma of having 2 people come at you saying you're wrong, and you're just trying to voice your opinion, and there's always the black families of, if you saying your opinion, you talking back.
So basically you felt like the black sheep.
Really, it was just I can never voice my opinions to where I felt like I was heard.
So basically you felt alone.
Yeah.
Like that was your traumatic experience, feeling alone. Like, and that can have an effect on you growing up. You don't feel heard. So when you're in a space or an environment and you're speaking and somebody's not listening and you don't feel heard, you may lash out.
I just go into my little turtle shell and I just be quiet, and I just shut down, because if there's too many people going against me and everything, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna just stop talking, because I don't like confrontation.
It's trauma for you.
Yeah, it's
like,
the confrontation
it's a traumatic
part.
experience for
you know.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was where I was almost, where sometimes that's where the anxiety came from. That's where anxiety stems from. I used to get so much anxiety from being around people, being in too many big crowds, too many people talking to me.
And I feel like now these words are being bigger than what they used to be. Anxiety, depression, healing. Like those words are being used more now. So back to the parent trauma, I guess like you said, yours, I feel like mine would probably be like the separation. Like, I've seen divorces, but I feel like mine was more so like a separation type of thing. Like, I always wanted the 2-parent household. So being that I didn't come from that, there were some issues that stem from not coming from a 2-parent household that you face as a child growing up. Or you see certain things and you feel like, no, it should be this way. But you never know, like, people who do have 2-parent households, it seems that way, but it's not that way.
Right.
Because, I mean, your parents will never tell you that they're not happy to their children, because they're going to save face because you're their children. So I feel like with me, it was like a separation where you wanted that family. You wanted to have that connection with, you know, father-daughter connection, or like a mother-son connection. You wanted those connections. So growing up, most women look for that in men, that connection they didn't get with their father.
Yeah.
Which is why they say, oh, you got daddy issues. Or, they make that a thing, and it's trauma. It's a lot of traumatic experiences where, like I said, people don't really sit down and think, like, you know what? I don't feel like our parents really know. Like, they did the best they could. I'm not taking that from them. All parents do, but they don't really know. Some things are traumatic.
For every child.
Yeah, some things are very traumatic to us as growing up and entering into these new relationships. We take along with us, and then we don't really know until it's like, until you're doing it. Until you're like, damn, wait a minute. I don't like my parents doing this, but I'm doing it to you. So it's like, you don't know what to do. That's why
you have to unlearn everything that you've been taught your whole life.
Of course.
And that's so hard to do. To unlearn something that's been so much a part of your personality and your character, to have to be something so different. That's gonna take a couple of tries to get through.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of trauma can come from, like I said, separation, divorce. Like you can be you can still face traumatic experience through whatever your parents went through, because like if you're used to something and then it's not that anymore, it's gonna make it seem as if it's your fault.
So has you being with parents that were separated and in a divorce phase, how did that make you in your relationships more to where you were scared of being separated from that person? Or how did that make you feel to your relationships now?
I think facing those traumatic experiences, as far as like with the separation and going into situations with a significant other, it may be a problem with neglect issues. Like, if I want to be around you and you may want your space, and space is fine, I may feel like, oh, you want to be around me today? And I may feel like maybe I'm being neglected, or maybe, it just feels like, okay, I feel like you do what you see. If you saw these things growing up, this is what you're going to do as you get older. Like, if you see somebody not treating your parent right, your mother, your father, or whoever, as they should, you're going to grow up doing that. And that's just the truth of it all. Or if you see that your parents ain't happy, and I don't know. It's a very touchy subject.
It is.
Because it's a lot that goes into
so much mental trauma that you have to position your mind through to even get through what's really wrong with you.
Yeah. And like I said, they've done the best they could, but I never want, if I have kids, I never want them to feel like you cannot come talk to me, or you cannot tell me certain things, or I never want to make you feel like if you're telling me something, you're lying to me as you're telling me. If I ask you a question, I want to know you're telling me the truth.
Right.
I
don't want to be a friend to my child, but I want to be someone that they can come to, like I said, for protection and for that voice. I feel like even though, a parent is to, shelter you and make sure you do the right things and everything like that, and obey the laws and obey what your parents say, but I feel like it's also about them talking to you in a way to where you can grow with your parents. Because I feel like that's really what it is. It's just another relationship that you got to get through.
Yeah, but like you said, you got to get through it. So if you never get through it, and it's still lingering, like I said, it's going to linger on into your friendships and your relationships. Like, if you don't fix it now, this is why we have therapy.
Yeah.
This is why people our age are going to therapy. This is why they say, don't just go to church, go to therapy.
Yeah.
So if you're not fixing it now, it's never going to get fixed. It's going to linger on. That's why I say a lot of us got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And we pointing the finger, but it stems from early childhood, growing up. Like, everything ain't as easy as it seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I would never sit here and say what my parents didn't do, because they feel like they done the best they could.
Right.
There's books.
There's no right or wrong answer with really knowing how to raise a child.
No. I mean, you got books when you're pregnant. You got books how to, go into, like, there's no book on how to be a parent. No. Even if there is a book out there,
that might not work for your child.
There's still
okay.
Listen, no.
Kids gonna grow up how they need to grow up, but we're the ones that steer them in the right way to where they actually want to grow up a certain way.
Yeah, I feel like people don't talk about it enough, but like sometimes you don't realize you're damaged from your parents until you get into a situation and you're like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back and realize,
did I do this or did you do this?
Why am I accepting this from this person and I should just walk away? Mm-hmm. Like, why do I feel like I have to accept this from you? Like, why? When I know in me, like, you know what, I need to walk away from this. Because you've seen it done so many times, why wouldn't you accept it? Why wouldn't you go along with it? Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you be like, oh, this is the norm? Because you've seen it. You grew up with it.
Yeah.
So, I just feel like, and even with growing up now and seeing, people our age becoming parents, I want them to do better. Like, I don't know how you raise your child. I don't. But it needs to be different than what it used to be.
And how it's coming up with these kids now. Some of these kids are, already doing too much.
Yeah, talking back,
cussing and stuff. Ooh-wee.
And it's like you laughing about it, but it's like, okay, your son cussing right now, but
at 4 years old,
as he gets 15, 16, he gonna be calling a female a bitch in class
and get suspended real quick.
And as he gets older, he's gonna start hitting women,
and then he's gonna be a dropout, and then he's gonna be on the streets still using women or using somebody else or anybody,
just like little girls. Like,
and then the cycle continues.
It's always, I don't know with you, but it's always like, okay, when it comes to little girls, we develop. So it's like when you're around your parents and somebody comes over, it's always like, make sure you don't show too much or, cover up and, do this and do that. And I'm like, I always felt like as an older man, you shouldn't even be looking at me in any type of way. Mm-hmm. I mean,
if I have to do something like that, I'm not saying that we over here in bikinis and everything at the dinner table.
I mean, like, as a child, you in your home, you comfortable. So being told cover up and, it's like, it makes you think as a child, like, okay, so what's the problem? What's going on?
I'm in trouble real quick. I need to go put on some clothes.
It just makes you look at things a certain type of way. Like I said, what's happening in this house, stays in this house, has affected so many black households to where a lot of men are fucked up, a lot of women are fucked up, and this is why we can't come together and have successful relationships or have successful partnerships or just be respectful to each other. It's always a disrespect. Right. Like, this is how I feel. Oh, well, you do the same. It's just a tit for tat.
Yeah. And that brings us into our next subject. I don't give a sip. The red flags of parent trauma.
or just men, women, whatever. Red flags. So what are your red flags?
I think my red flag
And
would be,
not to cut you off, this is something we don't like, red flags. So this is why this is the segment for us. I don't care for people with red flags. We may have some red flags.
yeah.
And you know, doing this, we gonna talk about them and we gonna learn them and we gonna heal from them. So we can go ahead and talk about some red flags that you don't care for and what you don't like.
So my first red flag that I don't care for at all is gaslighting and thinking you're always right. Women and men do it. Sometimes we are just, well, I'm gonna talk about men first. Sometimes these men, they think they're so smart. Ooh, some men think they're so smart. But sometimes they are just so wrong. And they know they're wrong at the same time. But they still just want to be so confident in what they say to where they may try to make you feel bad for feeling the way that you feel. Because they don't never want to be in the wrong. And I think that really just stems from really with the parent trauma of some people never told their children they're wrong. Some people just let their kids do whatever they want to do and just frolic along with life.
Yeah, because
whatever.
Yeah, because I feel like that also goes back, like, let's say in school, your child do something and, you know, the principal call your parent and, you know, I know my child ain't do this because, you know, I raised my child better than that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, when your child leaves you, you really don't know what your child doing.
Exactly.
To be honest. And let's just call for it. When we left our parents, they didn't know what we was doing out here. They didn't know. So you can't sit here and say, oh, I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. You don't know. But I mean, I guess it also comes from, like, I guess, trusting your child, knowing that it wouldn't do that. But at the same time, that's also a way for them to get away with certain things. So I think that's when you grow up and when you do things to certain people, like you said, gaslighting, or what was the other one?
Always thinking that you're right.
Always thinking that you're right. It stems from that because what my mama said, so therefore I know I'm right about what I'm saying to you.
Right. And always validating their own emotions and not being able to validate the person that they're talking to. They just think that only their emotions will come out because I know I'm right in how I'm feeling. You're the one that made me feel this way.
Right.
What's one of yours?
I got two. One of my red flags I don't really like from is narcissism.
Yes.
I feel like narcissism is a big thing for me because I've dealt with a narcissistic person, and it's not good. It's not good, and it's like you don't know it until after it's over and done with. That's when you like, damn, I was dealing with a narcissistic person.
Yeah.
And you would never know it until after the fact. Like, they will tell you all these things and make you feel a certain type of way. But the moment you don't make them feel how they need you to feel, they flip. And it's kind of like, you know how we say the real person shows up? Where it's like, this was you all along. You were just playing somebody else. You had a mask. Yeah. So like I said, I've dealt with a narcissist person, and it was just, they would tell you things about yourself from projections. They would project things onto you that they may have felt about themselves. Like, oh, well, you play victim, or you always in your feelings, or you always got something, you always got a problem. You're so negative. And it's like, I don't feel like me voicing an opinion or telling you how I feel is being negative.
Yeah.
To me,
You
it's like
to be heard.
Exactly. And like I said, that also stems from trauma. Like, if I'm coming into something, I want to be heard. If I'm saying something, I want you to hear me and what I'm saying. Don't sit here and discredit for what I'm trying to say to you, and then you making it out to be like I'm just a negative person. To me, that's
like you're saying it out to hurt them for no reason.
Yeah.
I really just want to be heard.
And it's like, you really just don't give a fuck of what I gotta say because it's always about you. Like, a narcissist, it's always gotta be about them.
It's always they always gotta be the upper hand of everything.
Like, you can't say how you feel, what you feel. Everything's negative. And it's just like, I had to go through that process of dealing with that, and it was not a good process. It took some time to get out of, and it's like, okay, after I got out of it is when I knew, like, I had to read up on some things, like, oh, I was dealing with a narcissistic ass person, and I didn't even know it, and I fell victim to everything of what they was doing. So after I found out, it was like, okay, so this is why he said this, so this is why he did this, oh, so this is why you sent me these pictures, or this is why you asked me these certain things. Like, it's like, if they don't get what they want, it's like, okay, I'm gonna tear you down every chance I get. As long as you give them what they want, they fine, because they know they're preying on you. It's like a prey, and they're the predator.
They just creeping out on you.
Yeah, so I just feel like that's like a red flag. I don't care for are narcissistic people. Another one for me is codependency.
Oh my God, those ones that hang on to you till they take everything.
Yeah, I don't like codependency. I feel like that also stems from like what you grew up on as well. Like, if you see, someone being codependent on another person, you're gonna grow up and feel like, okay, that's something that you can do in your relationship, and it's not okay because it makes the other person feel like you're not independent enough.
Yeah.
And that's why it comes into play, like, you know, we as women have these boundaries set, or we have these things we want in a man, and they feel like, oh, you just want me for my money. And it's like, no, I just don't want you to be, I don't want to be codependent, and I don't want you to be codependent on me. I want you to be independent.
I think I did go through an instance of that where it was codependency. Before my other relationship, I think it was to a point to where I was paying for everything when I would go down there to him. And he was still living with his parents, and I would literally go down there every weekend to go see him, paying for gas that he was not giving me, paying for, snacks and food when I would go down there, paying for his birthday. His mama didn't even buy nothing for his birthday. I'm the only one that had bought him so much stuff for his birthday, brought alcohol down, everything like that. I don't know what I was thinking.
Basically, a taker. You was enabling him, and he was taking it, basically. Yeah. And I feel like that's what we all sometimes do as women. We enable men, and then they just take it and take it and take it. Because, I mean, why would I say something if I feel like, okay, well, if she gonna do this, why would I even go get a job? Why would I even put forth to giving you a date? Or why would I, see if you need something or how you doing? Whenever she doing this, I'm good.
Right.
I'm going to just take from her. So.
But I'm in a situation now. Ain't nobody taking from me no more. Okay. It's over with.
Codependency, like, that's
it's draining as hell.
What is that in the last situation where, it was a couple of moments, and it was a little bit terrible. A little bit.
A lot of it terrible.
you know, you don't know it until you go through it, and then when you get out of it, you're like, okay, damn, that's what I was going through. Okay, so how do I not go through that anymore?
Exactly. Yeah, that's when you gotta take a real good look at yourself in the mirror. Like, damn, I did all of that.
Because it takes two to tango. Like, I can put the blame on you, but I also allowed you to do that to me. So it's like the red flags had always been there.
Why wasn't I paying attention?
Yeah, I just didn't notice them. It's like, okay, we having fun and we doing these things, but it's like, okay, you asking me for something at this point, like, I'm giving it to you.
Right.
And then I'm not noticing, like, okay, this may become an everyday type of thing. Like, I need to do this too for you. I need to do that for you.
Okay.
You
I gotta pay this too. I gotta give you that too.
It's like, okay, so
you need this too.
So it's like, what's next?
But that's my last of this, but I gotta give you that.
And it's like, you ain't getting it in return.
Right.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like when it comes to codependency, at some point you probably give your last to that person. And they don't even know that it's your last.
Right.
So it's like when they're not reciprocating that, it makes you feel a certain type of way. Like I said, after the fact of going through that type of situation.
I feel like it made me feel like I was just the lowest of the low. Like, okay, I done gave you all of this. I'm waiting on you to, you know, give me all the love and the affection and all the other stuff that I've been wanting from you since I gave you all of this. And it's just like, okay. So I didn't get, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you really feel like you just an ant on the ground.
Not an ant?
Yeah. Like something that don't even exist. Like roly-polies. What? Like a roly-poly, bro.
Them is everywhere.
I do not see roly-polies anymore. You be seeing roly-polies?
At my job.
What?
They be all over the floor.
Oh my, all over the floor?
Yes.
On the inside?
When it become hot out, that's the thing. They everywhere. Codependencies.
What? Oh my God, I have not seen a roly-poly in years.
But yeah, those are my two red flags that I don't like. I mean, I got more, but they're my top two. I don't like them. And do you feel like, and another thing with that, do you feel like you have any red flags that you may feel like, you know?
I feel like my other red flag that I had in mind.
No, I mean like for yourself. Like, as yourself, do you have a red flag that you need to work on?
I think my red flag is really just sometimes I might overreact to certain things that I really don't need to.
Okay.
You know, I can say that about myself. Sometimes I can overthink things to where I think that they're bigger than they are sometimes, on occasion. Not too often do I do that, okay? I'm not saying that. But every now and then, I will overreact to certain things that I don't need to.
Okay.
And then I've realized that, and now I'm starting to unlearn and heal from that issue.
Do I have a red flag? I probably do.
Mm-hmm.
Have I figured it out? No.
Well, I can tell you. I'm just playing.
Tell me.
No, I don't even know.
No, tell me.
I don't even know your red flag.
And that's probably a part of the thing I probably need to figure out. I might got a red flag. I feel like my red flag probably is overthinking. And overthinking too much about certain situations. Like making something out of nothing. When it really wasn't that bad to begin with, you probably just made that situation too much than what it was supposed to be.
So that's you kind of like trying to make a problem to end it before there's actually a real problem.
Basically. I feel like that's my red flag. It's like, if it's gonna end it now, because it's gonna end anyway. And there's probably a red flag in mine.
Okay, I understand that.
Because I mean, like, why go through all the up and down roller coaster? Like, that's just cutthroat. Tell me what it is so I can go on and then you can move on.
But sometimes that roller coaster can make it worth it to where at the end it's worth it to stay there. No relationship is gonna be perfect to where it's not gonna be a roller coaster.
But like I said, that's my red flag.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least now you know it. And you can unlearn from it and heal.
Okay, well, speaking of healing,
Healing.
let's get into our problem of the week.
Let's get into it.
And our problem of the week is
I don't know why you're acting like this. You so
our problem of the week is the Trey Songz controversy that's being swept under the rug. And I feel like it's not being talked about enough. You know, like, we put R. Kelly on the back. You know, we put him in the fire pit.
He in the jail. He burning.
We put him in the forefront. We talked about him. We had interviews. You know, and like I said, it has been years with R. Kelly. So, of course,
there's a whole story about him.
We gonna gravitate towards him and, you know, have all our comments. But I don't think the Trey Songz controversy is being talked about enough. I feel like it's being on the hush.
Yeah.
And I've seen some interviews. I read a couple of things on social media. I don't know what's true. I don't know what is true. But I do know that I'm not a fan of sexual assault. Mm-hmm. I may have fell victim to it once or before and not knew that I was a victim to sexual assault. Mm-hmm. So for me, if this is something that he's doing to women and they're saying like, oh, well, his documentary is going to be longer than R. Kelly's. It's disgusting. It's as much as he makes great music. I am a fan, but I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the person that you are showing people that you are. If this is you, I'm not a fan of that.
So then, would you be like, you know, with people with R. Kelly? You know, people still listen to R. Kelly music. People have not stopped listening to R. Kelly. Most people, because he's such of an icon in the music industry. If it comes out that he is actually, you know, this person that does all of these things, are you still gonna listen to Trey Songz?
Am I still gonna listen to his music? Okay, let's just be honest. Music doesn't define who a person is. But at the same time, let's go back to R. Kelly. We supposed to have canceled R. Kelly, right? Mm-hmm. Why is all his music still on Apple Music?
Because he's such an icon that people can't forget about R. Kelly.
They were supposed to take it off of Apple Music.
They were.
But it's not. But Apple makes money off that. So we really gonna take some shit away from Apple that they can make money off of? Let's just be honest. When you monetize some shit and you making money off of it, you're not gonna delete it. Mm-hmm. And that's just like Trey Songz. Trey Songz got some bangers.
But he's also not in the public eye anymore like that.
No, I mean,
he's gotten blackballed.
He has a son. He's trying to be a father. He has his mother. He has his small family. Like, he's not in the public. He's not even making music. Like, honestly.
But is it because he wanted to stop, or is it because people weren't wanting to produce him anymore because he was doing so much stuff? Because he did stop making music around the time where Keke Palmer came out saying that he had sexually assaulted her.
He did. Not really, because he had a little, he did have some Apple Music.
Yeah, a little bit.
He had a mixtape. He not a mixtape, but he did have an album. It was like a 2-part album. He did make music after that. When he did the Trapper something with Fabulous on Spinrilla. He did that, but far as with Kiki Palmer, they were like, Kiki Palmer Ben came out and said it's about Trey Songz, and a lot of women came out about him. I'm just saying, if he's doing these things and he's not coming forth saying, like, defending himself, to me, if you're not defending yourself, and you may feel like you don't have to defend yourself, I feel like you're doing that. Because I don't always want to defend my name. Like, my name is everything. That's all you got as a person, your name. That's all you got. So if you ain't going to defend your name or your character is all you have. Then it's like, what choice do we have but to believe that these things are partaking and going on within society? Like, these women are coming forth, even with, R. Kelly, these women came forward. R. Kelly slept with the, 13-year-old, however old she was, and they're saying it's going to be worse than R. Kelly's documentary. It doesn't matter which is worse. It's all disgusting. It's sexual assault is sexual assault.
Right.
You are a grown-ass man sleeping with a 13-year-old. Either if you're a grown-ass man,
R. Kelly really should have been canceled.
Even if you're a grown-ass man forcing grown women to sleep with you or basically exploiting them. That's disgusting.
And you should be reprimanded for that.
You said what?
Did I say it wrong?
I don't know what you said. No, that's a word.
Reprimanded, yeah.
Okay.
Put into jail, I think that's what it means.
Okay, word.
I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Okay, I know big words sometimes.
I'm here for it. I am here for the words. But like I said, if there's something that he's doing, I don't condone it. I don't like it. And back to your question, will I cancel his music? I'm not even gonna lie, probably not. I'm not gonna lie, because and that doesn't make me a terrible person, because I'm not condoning what he's doing. His music ain't got shit to do what the fuck he's doing. But I mean, if you listen to some of his music, it may come off that way, just like R. Kelly. Some of his music come off with the little girls and the women and all that type of stuff. So it's like,
the hey girl, it's your birthday, open wide, you're thirsty. Did you get drunk?
But isn't all music pertain to sexual assault though?
No,
like you got these rappers.
Don't say all music now.
Not all. Okay, correct me. Not all music, but some of this music out here for like some of these rappers, some of the stuff they rap about is kind of assaulting to women.
Yeah, grabbing bitches on the booty, grabbing girls by the coochie, having sex with them real quick, making them suck dick right then and there, all of that.
Like, nothing is cool about sexual assault. Like, I don't condone it, I don't. And I feel like it's not, I guess maybe it's under like a court thing. It's not being talked about, probably. It's not being discussed.
That's what I'm thinking, like, why isn't this all in the news of going to court? All of these people said they're going forth and everything like that. When is the court date? Maybe that's also another reason why Trey Songz is so.
I just feel like people.
Maybe it's all just under wraps. When it comes to these people even, are they really even suing him all the way?
I just feel like when it comes to people, they're like, oh, this is going to be the worst documentary since R. Kelly. It's like you waiting on his downfall. Yeah. And it's like, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. We're just going off what we hear.
Yet. Just
but like I said, as someone who I feel like may have fallen victim to sexual assault and I did not know, I can see where these women are coming from. Mm-hmm. These women are victims. So if as a woman and you're coming forth saying that this has happened to you,
you deserve to have your voice heard regardless.
Yeah. Like I said, it's disgusting. I don't agree with it. And
something needs to be done about it once it is known.
And that's just that. No matter how much I love his music, no matter how much I want to get concerts, no matter how much, I'm not bashing him. It's just
like with Bill Cosby. they took Bill Cosby off. But yet they still show some of his shows on like another TV thing, but on like NBC and like CBS and like ABC, they do not show the Bill Cosby show no more. Say something. What? Okay, what you doing? What you gonna say about Bill Cosby?
I didn't have nothing to say about Bill.
I used to love Mr. Huxtable. He was all about TV dads. He was one of the best ones, okay? He was a rich black surgeon, okay? No, he wasn't a surgeon. He was a gynecologist, wasn't he?
I just knew he was a doctor.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't call the man a gynecologist. Now he's making it seem like he was.
I think he was the one, helping with the pregnancy people. Helping people give birth. Yeah, he was. Mm-hmm. He was.
Now,
he was an OBGYN.
I didn't read up on the Bill Cosby. That man is out and he is overseas where they is treating him as he should be as a human being.
Yeah.
But that wasn't right either way he did. It's just
so many people.
Basically, I don't condone sexual assault. I don't. If you have fallen victims of sexual assault,
get help.
You should talk to somebody about it. You should
heal and vent.
Exactly. And if that's something that you're going through right now, stay strong. Don't beat yourself up about it. Talk to somebody.
It can always be on the back of your mind instead of in the front.
Yeah, get the help you need. Seriously. Because that's like a very traumatic experience. Like we talked about in the beginning.
A lot of process through.
Because, it could be stemmed from something that you went through as your childhood. Mm-hmm. And, people may not know what you've been through or what you're going through. So, I don't wish that on nobody.
Right.
And,
So, I think I have an affirmation for this week.
Oh, okay. Okay, affirmation.
So, I think the affirmation of this week is heal from yourself. The only one stopping you from growing and knowing yourself is yourself. You gotta heal from the inside out. You gotta get your mind right so that you can become the better person that you want to be.
Okay, I like that. I guess this was our healing episode, and I feel like we're in the process of healing.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you for tuning in to our podcast.
We'll see you next week. Welcome to Roll Problems
and Solutions. Bye, y'all.